Welcome to another Turbo's cast. This time I'm bringing you something pretty darn special. I am bringing you Mobility Gaming versus Vexx Gaming EU. This game was actually played for the Smite Invitational. This is the wildcard tournament that occurred this past weekend, and these two teams went head-to-head on during round 3, and you guys get to see exactly what happens. This game was actually not casted officially, so if you missed it, this is one hell of a game to watch. I'm very excited to bring this to you, and as you'll notice, this match is actually my first cast officially as Mobility Gaming's caster. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Turbos. I have been a gamer my entire life, and I have been doing some casting, getting into the Smite scene a little bit. I've been playing since August of last year, and I have been casting for quite a bit now, for the past 2 to 3 weeks. I do have some casting experience under my belt from the TF2 days. However, this is my first foray into a MOBA style game. So as we get started here, I would like to make a note here that you can visit my YouTube account by looking at the video links on the bottom. You can also look at the match results link that's also there, as well as check out Smite and sign up. There will be a referral link for you to go ahead and click on that thing and get your Smite action going. We need players. It's in open beta right now. We would love you forever if you joined us for some of this fun action. Your Smite, if you're not aware, is a third-person view MOBA game where the majority of the shots are actually skill shots. That includes your auto attacks and a lot of your abilities. So we'll go through a little bit of those during this cast. So let's go ahead and get this party started. For Team Blue, Mobility Gaming, we have Peckies playing as Shibalanki, Tyler playing as Sobek, Snoopy Man playing as Hercules, Chrono playing as Ymir, and Deboy playing as Ra. Over on Vexx Gaming EU, we have Falcony playing Thor, Game Hunter playing Hebo, Warki, I hope it's not Warchi, but Warki playing Neath, Killer Chino playing Odin, and Dan G3 playing your beloved Guan Yu. So we'll see how this game progresses here. We do have the players already purchasing and heading out into the jungle here. So I'm going to go ahead and resume the playback here and see if we can catch any shenanigans going on pre-game before the minions start spawning. Typically what you're going to see is you're going to see the teams lining up to take the red buffs here in middle lane. Teams positioning themselves to take the movement speed buff here, but sometimes in these high level games you're going to see some invades and some funny moves here, more along the lines of just trying to get some early kills and setting one of the teams off kilter. So we'll see if this happens here. It looks like both teams are kind of playing a little passive, but as the timer does wind down, we do see the teams settling into their buff camps to take these out. So you see that both teams are actually positioning themselves to take the same buffs on each side, and here you will see that Hercules takes the red buff and they do head into lane. So we will see the lanes starting to formulate here. We have Neath versus Ra in the middle here, and then over in right lane it looks like we're going to have Shibalanki and Sobek versus Hebo and Odin. Looks like perhaps Shibalanki and Sobek are going to come in on the blue here and see if they can cause any damage. They are taking out a lot of damage here, trying to steal the blue buff, but it does not look like they're going to. Now they're just going to go after the kill for the Hebo. They do have the creeping curse out, but missing a lot of the auto attacks and not dealing the damage they need to. So this lane is not going to get the kill that they hoped, but they did disrupt that blue buff from going in, and it looks like this Odin got it instead of the Hebo. Very good call, because that Hebo does have the red buff there. So by separating that buff for the blue buff for mana regeneration on that Odin, they're really basically stopping this lane from being able to push. So let's go ahead and introduce the left lane here. We do have Ymir and Hercules versus Guan Yu, and I can't see because they're both here, but we do have a great freeze here from the Ymir, doing a lot of damage on this Thor. That's the other person for Team Red over here. And we do have him chasing around, but it does not look like Ymir has the damage or the mobility to catch up to him and make the kill. So we'll see how daring this Thor gets in this engagement here. I'm going to pause real quick. Oh, hold on. We'll take a look here. We do have a great combination here by the Ymir and the Hercules here, and they did get the kill on that Thor with some good combination. Meanwhile, they are continuing to push on this Guan Yu. Are they going to be able to bring him down? Is there a freeze on this Ymir? No. He tries to... Oh, he does get the flip back from that Hercules, doing additional damage. There's the freeze and gets the kill on that Guan Yu. Awesome play by this combination, Snoopy and Chrono on the left lane. Very impressed. Now I'm going to pause real quick and make a quick change to my... we're going to do blue team here as Mobility Gaming, and then red team is Vexx Gaming EU. Should have done that before. I do apologize for that. Now we will continue forward. So we'll see left lane going back here and check in on middle lane and see what's happening here with Deboy versus Warchi. Not much going on here. You do see Neith using her flip there to jump back and do additional damage, and then taking out that creep wave with very much ease, especially for level 5, taking out with just a couple abilities there. So Deboy is backed up to his tower here momentarily while he dispatches against those creeps. Left lane, it looks like we have Mobility Gaming pushing up on Team Red here. Great grab here by the Sobek on the Hebo here. We do have a great combination here by the Shibalanki, doing a lot of damage to this Hebo. The Hebo turns around and kills that Shibalanki. It looked like Shibalanki was going to get that kill on that Hebo, dealing a lot of damage to him, but ended up turning around and getting that kill. Unfortunate for Team Mobility. They are still up 2 kills to 1. Gold right now is still pretty much the same. We're not seeing a huge separation in gold. We do see Hebo hanging out in lane a little bit longer than I probably would have anticipated. Now they go back to go ahead and buy some more of those items. So we do see a little bit of reset here going on. We do have Neith continuing to farm middle lane, while Deboy did end up going back and buying. And as a result, you do see that these creeps are pushing up on the tower, but he does return just in time to mitigate as much damage as possible. Meanwhile, we do have Neith going back. So the tables will turn momentarily, at least, where we have Deboy dealing that extra damage and pushing this creep wave back. So looking at the minimap here, we continue to see teams starting to form back into their respective lanes. We do have Ymir coming in. We're probably not going to see an engagement here from Team Blue just because they're right up against the tower. But we do see some poke going in by Vexx Gaming to push them back, keeping them honest. So we do see Hebo and Odin here. Now we do have Odin trying to block this dash, and he was successful there, but doing just a little bit of damage on that Hebo. So basically they're playing that combination where Sobek flips back Hebo, and then you have the poison darts and the rising jaguar on the Shibalanki, which are basically, as long as the enemy is within range of those 2 attacks, they're guaranteed hits. So that's a smart move to put out a lot of damage on that Hebo. We saw that combination used against the tower, but it just was not enough to take it down. So you do see Vexx Gaming continuing to push this creep wave. Now they're backing off, looking like they're going to go to their blue buff. Meanwhile, Mobility Gaming did stop and take that cooldown reduction, and they're going to come back to lane to push this creep wave back. So we continue to see Deboy pushed up against this tower here, while Neith is heading over to jungle to see what's going on here. It looks like we do have an engagement here onto this Ymir. We do have an ultimate by Shibalanki, ultimate here by Hercules. We have Thor going up, and now we have the stun here by Neith. And Thor does miss the Hercules going down, but they are going to stay in this fight. We do have the heals here by Ra. Great stun by this. Ymir gets a couple of freezes down, and just not enough damage to take down that Guan Yu. And Neith is returning back to her safe haven in middle lane. It looked like there might have been deaths on both sides, but just not enough damage here. And we're going to go ahead and back up and catch this kill onto the Sobek. So we'll see them getting a little aggressive here while that battle in the left jungle was going on, and we'll see where this goes badly here. We're going to go ahead and watch this by Hebo's point of view and see how this all goes. So we see the initiation here from Odin, the ultimate by Odin. We have the water spout go down by this Hebo, doing a decent amount of damage here, separating the Shibalanki and the Sobek, and he does kill him with a well-placed ultimate onto that Sobek. They're continuing to push this water spout here, and the I'm not sure which one is that. Looks like the Hebo has the water cannon and water spout. That's his two main damage abilities, dealing a decent amount of damage on Pexies, but not able to get the kill. So they did end up taking out that Sobek with a very well-coordinated effort there, trapping that Sobek in, separating the Shibalanki, not being able to put out the damage at all, and getting a very good kill. So now they've evened up the scores here. The gold, again, is very similar. We have Shibalanki basically cleaning up the creep waves here, and we see that nobody's really in lane right now. They're back in jungle taking care of those objectives. So we will see, look at the level difference here from Tyler over Peckies here. Just with that single death, with having to get out of lane here, and with Peckies just being able to stay in lane and push this creep wave without having Tyler in lane with him. So now he just dinged to level 8, Tyler going to level 6. So we will see what kind of impact that has on that Sobek as the game progresses. Now we do have a gank attempt here from the Hercules, pushing him back, getting him with the ultimate. We do have a late Aegis here. Very interesting call on this Neath, basically going down by auto attacks by Deboy. Now they're in a little bit of trouble. It looks like they are down on their skills, so they're backing off here. We have Thor coming in here with about half health. Almost a snipe there by Ra. He would have been able to deal at least most of that. I mean, he would have only had maybe 10 to 20 health there. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened had he made that ultimate hit. So we'll see Thor continuing to play a little aggressive here with not a lot of health and mana. We do have a great combination there from Snoopy to get rid of the additional creeps there. And now we see that middle lane is kind of normalizing here. Thor staying in here to stop this creep wave from dealing additional damage. Left lane, it doesn't look like we see much going on here. We do have both tanks here playing one-on-one, so we're not going to see a lot of engagement there. Over on right lane, we continue to see Vexx Gaming push up against this Tyler Peckies combo. We've seen some a decent amount of back and forth here, but we do have the Hebo at 2-0 versus the no kills here from Mobility Gaming. A miss grab from the Sobek once again, and we do have the water spout going down excuse me, by that Hebo to deal a little bit of damage to Tyler. So we're going to see them get pushed up against their tower once again, and we will come back here. We do have now Deboy using his ultimate on that creep wave, likely to buy him time to go back into jungle and get some buffs. That's very typical to see that happen in these high caliber games, to have them go back and get those buffs, get some of the additional experience while they don't have to sit in lane and go back and forth. So we do have an ultimate here by Shibalanki, and I'm not really sure. Oh, it looks like they were initiating on this Hebo, and Sobek ends up going down as a result. Now they're going to continue pushing on this Shibalanki with that wall there for the stun by Thor. Great ultimate by Odin. Now we do have them continuing to try to put down the damage, but it looks like the escape there, the Rising Jaguar by Shibalanki, is good enough to get out. So interesting attempt at engaging on that Hebo. That Hebo playing very well, getting back into tower range, preventing that kill from going down, and Tyler losing his life as a result of getting into tower range and being out of position. So we're going to see that really kind of paying its price here on this Sobek, having to go back so often. We do have a great snipe here by this Rod, dealing additional damage to Neath, taking out the creep waves so he can go back and buy those items. So last time we saw him use that so he could go back in the jungle. We do have a freeze here by Ymir, but once again, because these are two tanks in the left lane, we're not going to see a lot happening between these guys here. So we do have Thor taking out cooldown reduction, and we have some activity going on here between Hebo and Sobek. Sobek using his dash to get out of damage range from that Hebo. He knows he's a little bit behind, hasn't even finished his Boots of Celerity yet. So he's really got to play passive here. He's 0 and 2, level 7, under-leveled from everybody else in the game, so he really has to play passively. He doesn't have as much gold as everybody else, so I'm interested to see how this affects this Sobek from being able to support and tank for his team. He's a critical component in those initiates for team fights. So seeing those early deaths here and the level differences here between Pecky's and Tyler, it's a 3-level difference. Looking at the gold, we see that Pecky's is at 3,900 gold versus a 3,300 gold individually. So we're going to continue seeing damage going down here. Great ultimate by Odin. We're going to see now that Shibalanki going right after the Hebo. Shibalanki now ulting, but it's not going to be enough to deal the damage. We do have the water cannon going down, doing a little bit of damage here, pushing them back, and now this lane has basically normalized once again. So Hebo once again playing very smartly. I have to give a lot of credit to Game Hunter for knowing when to initiate and understanding what is going on here. Great freeze by this Ymir going after the Thor. Is Thor going to be able to get out? Yes, he will. Not enough. Does Ymir have a wall? He needs a wall to put up here, and we do have Hercules playing way aggressive. I did miss the kill on that Guan Yu, but he has 1 bar here. Now Neith is coming in, maybe to ultimate here, misses her stun, and he does dash out of there. We're going to continue seeing her push forward, but she's going to back off now. Is not going to have the vision. Does she have her ultimate? We do have Dubois coming in here, going after her. We do see the beam of the celerity. Beam of, is that what it's called? Celestial beam. I don't know what I was thinking. Beam of, what? Anyway, I thought that perhaps Dubois could have been the man. Gotten the kill on Neith. He's going to yell at me later for calling him out here. I do know Dubois in real life. We are real life friends. And I often give him a lot of crap when I cast his games. So, we're going to see, just looking at lanes here, we do have Odin in lane here, not pushing the creep wave. It does not look like he's staying for, looks like he is staying for the experience, but he is last hitting, not really making this creep wave move forward. You're going to see this a lot in these types of games where they don't really push this creep wave forward so that they don't have to worry about getting into tower range. Now we do see an engagement here from Odin, but smartly Shibalanki uses Rise of the Jaguar to get out of there. Now we do see a lot of action going on in left jungle. Are we going to see an engagement here? No, it does not look like we are. It looked like for a moment they were dancing around trying to figure out what's going on. We do have some counter warding here from Dubois. Very smart. Well done there to get those wards out of commission here. Now it does look like Neith came back to reward, but he's going to come right back and auto attack that down. Awesome. It looks like that he just placed another ward there to basically destroy that. So now it does he have another ward here? No. It looked like there was maybe a red dot on the mini map. Like it looks like maybe it's just part of the texture of that mini map, making it seem like there is a ward down when there is not. So we do have 0-0 for middle lane. It looks like the two of them are playing very smart. They are both the same level. As far as individual gold, it looks like the Neith is at 6,200 and Ra is at 61, so there's not much of a difference in individual gold. We do have perhaps an ultimate here on Neith's side, and we do have now Sobek in really bad position here, ulting out, but does get the water spout here. Now we have Ra coming in. Hits his beam, but misses him. Not even single amount of damage. We do have his snipe going down, but does miss him. Unfortunate that he was not able to take down that Hebo. Once again, Hebo understanding how to push, when to do the damage, when to get the heck out of there. And now Dubois is in a position where his tower is taking a lot of damage. Sacrificing his lane to come over and help left lane or right lane was very, very costly. So we do have an Aegis here on the Hercules, but not taking a lot of damage here. We do have an engagement here from Ymir. And now we have Neith coming here doing a little bit of pot shots on this Ymir, but really not amounting to much of anything there. So we do see both of them returning to lane, perhaps. Yep, both of them returning to lane, and we will continue to see this here. Now, I want to come back to Sobek here for Tyler. He has gone down now 3 times, and he's at level 9 versus the rest of his team. You see he's 3 levels behind the next lowest person. Pecky's is that next lowest person at level 12. And this lane is 0 and 4 at this point. So this Hebo and Guan Yu are in really good position here, as we do have, but we do have the kills the same on a team level, 4 and 4. As far as gold, Vexx Gaming is up at about 800. Not enough to really feel the advantage right now, but they have to be careful. So we do see now Mobility Gaming getting very aggressive on this tower. We do have a great stun here by the Thor. Now spin to win, but we do have the Hercules healing up and using his combination to push back this Thor. Thor taking a lot of damage here. A good wall here by this Ymir, but not enough to trap him and make the kill here. That is really unfortunate for Mobility Gaming not to get that kill on that Thor. Now that Thor is going to go back, heal up, and be no worse for the wear. So we do see middle lane maybe dancing around a little bit here. No, it looks like they are just saying hi to one another. Dubois down only about a bar worth of health. Meanwhile, on right lane, this is going to be the lane to watch. If this lane can turn it around and get a couple kills on this Hebo, at 3-0, this Hebo is definitely the one to be fearful of. He's got a lot of damage output, a great water there to slow them down. I did miss the kill on that Ymir, so I am going to back up here and see if I can catch that. So I'm going to watch this here. We will watch this from Snoopy's side. We do have an interesting ultimate here by the Ymir going down. We continue to see this Guan Yu pushing in, but at one point does this go badly for Ymir? Ymir looking like he is just continuing to engage. We do have an ultimate here by Thor and an ultimate by Neith, basically taking them down with basically a 3 ultimate push there. I did see the ultimate from Neith, her arrow going in. She can shoot across the map as long as they have vision on the enemy. So great coordination by Vexx Gaming to take down that Ymir, especially in a lane that is basically dominating. They were 3-0 for the lane up until that kill. So Vexx Gaming really taking advantage of that. So going back, we do see that the game is very even, but now gold wise it looks like Vexx Gaming is starting to separate a bit here. They have about 2,500 gold above Mobility Gaming, and that's going to be something that's going to start feeling like they have the lead very soon. That 1,500 gold means that one person, or maybe they're starting some additional items here. We're looking at items just across the board here. All of them have started their level 3 items. One has level 2 of their 3rd item. Meanwhile, we do have Neith starting her 4th item, and we have just actually, I'm looking at the wrong one. Neith looks like she's the one that's actually basically has all the additional gold here. So if you look, she's got about 7,700 gold individually versus 7,400 for Dubois. And we'll go back to the action here, but I did have a point I wanted to make here. At 1,500 gold, you are actually, about 2,500 gold rather. They're going to start seeing that advantage. And that's going to show in items. And I thought perhaps it was for one person here, but it looks like Ra is definitely keeping up with her by farming that middle lane. So there's not one person that's really taking all that gold in. So I do want to spend a little bit of time here, once again, looking at the items. We see at level 3, the 3rd items rather, for Team Mobility starting up. And then you have Vexx Gaming starting on their 3rd items as well. But you look and you see that more people are really kind of further along on their 2nd items here. We do have Thor, interestingly enough, really only on his 2nd item. I wonder why that is. He's not that far behind in gold. I'm just curious as to why he would be so far behind in his item build. So we should keep an eye on that Thor and see what happens here. We do see Ymir kind of pushing this lane and stopping this progression on the creeps. Now we might see an engagement here on right lane. Hebo coming in, doing some damage with his water spout, and we do have the Rise of the Jaguar coming out for the Shibalanki, and now Sobek backing out as well. So we're going to continue to see this domination here by this Hebo dealing a lot of damage, but we're going to see now this lane playing a lot less aggressive here. Poison darts down for the Shibalanki, using his sprint to get out of the damage range from this Odin. Now we have a complete retreat over on Mobility side, missing that water spout by that Hebo. And so we're seeing a completely different right lane now. They are not interested in engaging at all. They know that they are completely outgunned. The damage output by this Hebo is way higher. And now we see Hebo going after this Hercules. Hercules using his ability there to heal any damage taken, and Hebo knows that it's not worth engaging at this point because he would not be able to burn him down, even with how much burst damage he does have. So we will not see a continued engagement there. And we will see how this progresses here. Hercules using that mitigate wounds there. That's what that ability is called. That's the one that basically takes all damage received. Oh, we do have an ult here by Thor. We're going to go back in here. He did get the stun here on this Sobek, but we do see Sobek and Xbalanque completely retreating, but we do see Hebo going in and trying to catch up to this Xbalanque, but Xbalanque continuing to push. Interesting path back here. He's going to try and back, but now he's in between a rock and a hard place here, using his poison darts, getting caught by that ultimate, and then going down here. So very interesting that he chose to use that path to get out here. Now they're going to maybe turn around on the rest of the team here. We do have an ultimate here by Guan Yu, an Aegis by the Hercules to mitigate that damage coming in, and now uses a sprint to get the heck out of dodge. Very smart call by that Hercules to use that Aegis when he did, and was able to get out of there as a result. So we see that Mobility Gaming, despite being a little bit down right now, is playing very, very smart, knowing when to engage, knowing now that this right lane is down a little bit here, they know that they need to play passive and stop dying. So they're being very patient, waiting, and choosing the right battles really to engage. You saw that it happened over here. You saw that the rest of Mobility Gaming was kind of collapsing on Vexx Gaming that was going after Xbalanque. Xbalanque did end up going down, unfortunately, due to some just a unfortunate choice in where he was going to try to escape. I don't think he knew that he was being pursued, so that's why he wanted to go and start that backing process, but obviously went down there. But you saw the rest of the team come in to try and maybe get some kills, but they said, you know what, it's not worth the disadvantage that we're in. Despite Hebo's ultimate being down, they just decided to wait their turn. So all that talking is a result of not seeing a whole lot of action going on in the map here. We do see them going for the jungle buffs again. We do see Vexx Gaming pushing this right lane once again. They are about to get real aggressive here, and we do see Xbalanque kind of sitting in jungle here. What is Xbalanque? Oh, it looks like he was getting the cooldown reduction. So now they are going to get rid of these creeps so they don't take any more damage on this tower. The tower, fortunately, has plenty of health, so there's no danger there. But now we do see right lane pulling into middle, and now they're going to collapse on this Hercules. This Hercules is going to be able to get out of here. Looks like maybe mitigate wounds was up, but he is taking a ton of damage. Ultimates, and he uses a Aegis there, but interestingly enough, Hebo... Huh, was that a stun? I want to back up there because I'm just curious. I thought I saw him Aegis. So we're going to come back here and see what happens. I'm going to just speed up here because I want to see what happens to... He took a lot of damage very quickly, so I'd like to see the progression here of what happens, because we do see the finish that mitigate wounds just finishes up, takes a water spout here, continues to take damage. Look how much damage that Hebo is doing. So we're going to continue. We do see the ultimate here, and oh, that was a stun by that Neath. And we do have an ultimate there from Ra to deal a little bit of damage here, but it was just not enough to really do much of anything. So that's what happened there. He had kind of hunched over like he was Aegis, but that was just a stun by that Neath. Very well played by the Neath to bring down that Hercules. Now it is 7 kills to 4. The gold separation has now hit 3,000. This is that point in time where teams are going to start feeling that difference. Looking at items, there's not a huge difference in how many items people have versus others, but you do see Neath there avoiding that beam from Ra and basically backing to get some more items. So when we look at the items here, we're going to see that now Neath has finished her 4th item versus Ra just kind of starting his 4th item. Everybody else on Mobility Gaming is just wrapping up their 3rd item or has finished. And then over on the Vexx Gaming side, you have 2 people finished with their 4th item, and then the 3rd item finished for, not quite finished there. So I'm just really confused. And I think that is apparent in how I'm casting this, because at 3,000 gold, I guess I would expect to see a little bit more difference in the items that you're seeing from Vexx Gaming. This Thor, once again, is really perplexing because he's at 8,400 farm, which is second highest in his team, and he's at level 2 Devourer's Gloves. That's very interesting to me. I almost wonder if he misclicked or bought wrong and had to sell an item, because he should not be finishing his second item. I mean, look, at 8,400, Hebo is starting his fourth item. I know that Mark of the Vanguard is part of that, but I'm very curious to find out why that happened there. So we're not going to see a lot happening here. We do see a wall and a freeze here, combination here, but you're seeing, look at that damage that basically went out on that Guan Yu. Guan Yu healing up, and basically like he took very little damage there. So not worth the engagement there. They don't have the damage output to really hurt that Guan Yu unless if they're in a team fight. So now Thor's in kind of a bad position. If Chrono gets a wall and freeze off, that Thor's going to be in a world of hurt. But we do have Guan Yu coming back in, so we will see some normalization back on this lane. Meanwhile, I'm seeing that this Sobek is running away from Hebo once again. So we will see how this lane starts doing here. Hebo looking like he is starting to roam a little bit more now that he has the advantage of that 4-0. He's got some good farm going on here, 8,600. Once again, look, he's 4-0, and this Thor is 8,700. I'm so confused about this Thor, people. I want to know what's going on with this guy. He should be doing a lot more than he is with items, so I'd be curious to find out if anybody knows what the heck happened there with that Thor. So we do see that Mobility Gaming is starting to attack this right tower here, pushing up a little bit. We do have one tower down on the entire map, and that's Middle's tower here. We do see a retreat here, both from Sobek and Shibalanki. Once again, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about a little earlier, where you do see that they are playing a much more passive to avoid any unnecessary kills on this lane. I'm not surprised to see this at all, especially with this Hebo sitting at level 18. So we do see that Sobek is still a little bit under level 14 versus the rest of his team. So, you know, we are definitely seeing that as a factor in this game, especially considering he went for Boots of Celerity instead of maybe the protection boots here. So we will see how I'd like to see him farming a little bit more, but I know it's tough, especially with your carry-on lane getting those last hits. But we do see that being a huge factor in these engagements, at least on a 2 versus 2 level. He's the first one down. This lane is focusing him when they should be focusing Shibalanki, and you're seeing a lot of deaths on his side as a result. So as a lane, there's 0 and 5. That's a rough lane to come back from. So will Mobility have the patience and the composure to come back from that? Now we do have Neith coming over here to this Hercules once again. We do see Mitigate Wounds getting popped here, so any damage coming in is basically going to be healed up here. And nothing really materializing from that engagement. So we continue to see now Vexx Gaming pushing this tower, and a good stun there by that Thor to stop that Hercules from doing any type of engagement on to them. So we will not see any further action going on in the middle lane. And once again, we see Pekkies in lane getting basically farming and getting as much gold as possible. And we continue to see Odin pushing forward, dealing a decent amount of damage, basically keeping the Shibalanki close by. And now we have an ultimate here by Odin to allow this Hebo to catch up. Now Water Spout comes down, misses the Water Spout. Rise of the Jaguar comes over. He does get he pops the Aegis and misses damage from both ults from Neith and the Hebo. Hebo gets tossed back into tower, and he's gonna use the sprint there, but it's not gonna be enough. Hebo is gonna be able to get out of that engagement with his life. We do have Sobek continuing to push forward. Is Sobek gonna get him? Yes, he is. I missed my mouse. Dang it. I'm going to back up here because I want to see him catch up to that Hebo. So we're going to see that the Sobek is going after him. I'm going to go... He does use his ability there to catch up to him and go back. We do have Neith coming in here. Is Neith going to be able to get grabbed here back into this Ra? No, it looks like Ra actually gets separated here. Does ultimate out, but misses both. We do see Neith get flipped back, but she's going to go back into tower range and not take a lot of damage here. A stun by the Thor, doing a lot of damage on that Hercules. Hercules popping his mitigate wounds. It looks like it's coming back, rather. He's healing up quite a bit. Look at how much healing that is. That was very well played by Snoopy to hit that mitigate wounds and recover all of his health. He was nearly dead there. So very smartly played by that Hercules. So I want to just make a comment on Sobek there. Sobek, you know, I've spent a lot of time talking about how they need to be patient and choosing the times when to be aggressive. That was one of those times. Tyler knew that he could catch up to him and deal the damage needed to take down that Hebo, when normally he probably would not have. So we do see now Mobility Gaming collapsing onto this Odin, dealing a lot of damage to him. We do have a great stun there by the Thor to keep that Odin alive, and now we have basically a useless ultimate here by Tyler. We do see Dubois trying to clear that minion wave with his ultimate, and nothing's really going to happen there. It looked like maybe Odin was going to go down there, but able to use that extra protections from being within tower range to survive that onslaught of damage. So we do continue to see Hercules continuing to play the map, going after this Thor and doing a lot of damage onto this Thor. Thor stuns him down. Now he gets a double stun by this Neith. Now Ymir comes in and freezes him. An ultimate here by Hercules. Hercules goes in for a kill, and now his mitigate wounds is coming back. Neith wanted to ult on him, but now he's going to heal back up. Just look at how much life this Hercules is getting back. It looks like maybe he's not getting as much as I thought he was going to get back. I did see that mitigate wounds come back through, so maybe he just didn't take that much damage while it was activated. We did hear Ra's ultimate go down, probably just to clear the lane, and now we will see the map normalize again. Just looking at the mini-map, we are seeing everybody just kind of mobility taking some buffs here, but we do have Vexx Gaming just kind of trying to reposition and figure out where they want to go. We see creep waves are about half. We do see Vexx Gaming's middle creeps pushing onto this tower, but Dubois will be able to take this down without too much trouble at all. So really we've seen an overall dominance by Vexx Gaming, and now we've seen this transition to mid to late game is now showing some brilliance over on Mobility Gaming side. Whoever is calling the shots, and I believe that's Chrono, understands that his team's got to play this smart and has to understand when to engage and when to get the kills. So when we're looking at the gold disadvantage here, they're at about 2,000 gold still, so they're not allowing Vexx Gaming to spiral out of control. But now the kills are about the same. They're not falling behind as far as game momentum goes, not gold momentum. So we do see a little bit of damage here going down by the Ra, but nothing really materializing as a result of that. But what I was trying to explain before was that, you know, they're calling this game exactly the way they need to. They're being patient and understanding when to engage, not getting into positions where this Hebo is dealing a lot of damage on them, and that's really paying off for them. So we do see Hebo heading over to right jungle here. What is going to happen here? We do have an ultimate here from Odin to keep both of these guys in range here. We do have an ultimate here by Sobek. Sobek going to do a lot of damage to this Hebo. Hebo taking a lot of damage. Excuse me, Aegising a little premature on that Aegis. We do have a flip back here from on this Odin. Odin taking a lot of damage. The entire mobility team is here to deal the damage on here. They're turning on to Neith. Neith using her Aegis, but Aegis is not going to save her. She's going to go down. We do have Thor coming in for a dunk, but gets flipped back by Sobek. And now we have a great snipe here by Ra going down on that Hebo. That was clutch by that Ra to take down that Hebo, getting that snipe down. Now Vexx Gaming is down by 2. Mobility Gaming lost nobody in that team fight, and now they are able to take towers. This is exactly the reason why they play passive and choose the battles they need to be in. because of this moment right here. So if they play this smartly, they'll be able to start taking more of the jungle buffs, maybe even get a gold fury, start extending their lead. Now they're up almost 1,000 gold just from that team fight. Middle tower goes down, right tower goes down. Now we have an engagement here on that Thor, and Thor ends up going down. I missed that, so I'm going to back up and watch this happen here. You see Thor is at almost full health, but he's a little bit behind on mana here, so I'm sure he's not going to play that aggressively, but I think he gets caught. Yes, he's backing. No, he stays in lane to try and save his tower, but now we see Sobek, Ra, and Shibalanki coming in. An engagement here by the Hercules. He just goes down from the entire, or from 4 of them basically collapsing on him. Very smart move by Mobility Gaming, understanding that they had the advantage there, taking that kill, and now 3 of them are down and extending their lead even more. So now they are at nearly a 2,000 gold lead, and they understand this. So now they're going to go after Fire Giant. This is exactly what they need to be doing, and I could not call this any better from a just a team progression base here. Vexx Gaming is going to have to try and stop this from going down. Sobek's going to play protection here and try to keep him out of here. You see him using basically everything they possibly can. Vexx trying to steal this Fire Giant, but does not get it. And now both these guys are in really bad position here. They are both going to end up going down here as a result. Not worth. I mean, I know they were trying to go in for the steal there, but they don't have the damage, the burst damage, to take down that Fire Giant. So I'm not sure I agree with that decision. Now Neith is 1 against 5. And Tyler getting that flip once again, but she's using her flip to get the heck out of there. Hercules missing his flip back there, and now they're going to push this middle Phoenix. It looks like Mobility Gaming is turning this around. They're now up by about 4,000 gold. None of them have actually gone back to take advantage of this gold lead. They're just using the Fire Giant as the determining factor here. 3 people are down for Vexx Gaming. 1, that Thor is coming back up shortly, but it's not going to be enough to stop them. Neith gets flipped back. Now a great combination here. Stunned by Ymir. She tries to get out, but dies in the middle of the air. It looks like she went up to the stars, baby. Hebo coming in, trying to kill this Hercules, but Hercules ends up aegising, but he does go down by that Hebo. Hebo in a really bad position goes down by Shibalanki. And now we see that everybody but that lonely Thor is up for Vexx Gaming. 1 person is down for Mobility Gaming. So Mobility Gaming, if they play this correctly and continue to stay aggressive, will win this game. They need to push this in now, take down this Fire Giant. Yes, they are pushing in with their creep wave so that the Minotaur does not rock their faces off. So they're going to push this in. Thor is not going to be able to do anything. We do now have 2 people respawning for Vexx Gaming. Is this going to be enough to take this down? We have Tyler going, trying to escape out of here, and now we have Mobility Gaming basically completely exiting stage here. That was actually a very timely respawn here by Vexx Gaming to save, basically it saved their butts. I mean, I'm just being honest. Without that respawn at that very moment, that game would have been won by Mobility. Mobility is going to take this opportunity to get the Gold Fury. Now, in order to realize this advantage, they are going to have to go back immediately after this and start buying, because none of them have actually gone back since that initial team fight. And that will separate them now about 8,000 gold from Vexx Gaming. And yes, now they are all going to go back. They're all going to buy, except for the boy who, he's like, I don't need to go back. I don't need items. He's boss enough to not take it. He's actually just going to push this lane up and prevent their tower from taking any additional damage. They are up 4 towers to 1, so there's a pretty big advantage there. He's not in any rush to get back to buy. So now he's going to go back and spend some of that cash he's earned, and we are going to see Mobility Gaming ramp up here for another attack. Now, looking here, it looks like, do they still have Fire Giant buff? Yes, it does look Fire Giant buff is still up, so we probably still have maybe 2 to 3 minutes left before that Fire Giant respawns, and we see them go back after that. Now, the question is, are we going to see another engagement here before the Fire Giant comes up? A lot of times in this late game, we're at 39 minutes right now, we will see teams wait it out until they see that that fire giant buff come back up and get that clear advantage. But we're going to see an engagement here into left jungle. Shibalanki ends up ulting here, but nothing really has materialized as a result of that. So we do see the middle Phoenix regenerating for Vexx Gaming, and this right Phoenix is going to follow suit. But we do see Mobility Gaming starting to coordinate here. Ra staying back to get that red buff, and now they're going to make a push into this middle Phoenix. Now that right Phoenix does end up going down. We do have Hebo protecting that Phoenix. It should be interesting to see if that Hercules is going to be able to do anything there. I'd like to watch this lane and see what happens here. Are we going to see anything materializing here? We do have Vexx Gaming kind of floating back and forth between middle and right Phoenix. I don't know if this is going to be enough for them to stop. This Phoenix is at about half health, maybe a third health. Thor taking a lot of damage here. We do see Neith going down. I'm going to go back to middle lane and watch that kill on Neith. Neith getting stunned, getting the combination ultimate by Ra, and going down immediately. Now we have Guan Yu ulting, but not doing any damage at all. Neith going down there. That's a big disadvantage for this team, seeing Neith go down as their middle player. And we do see middle Phoenix going down here. We do see this Hebo continuing to block their attempts to take this Phoenix down. But we do see now Thor completely out of position, going 1 versus 4. Holy man mode going down as a result. Now Hebo coming in, ulting, trying to do a little bit of damage there, but doing absolutely nothing. Great wall there by Ymir. Ymir basically stopping him from going back and taking a lot of damage, and he ends up going down. This game is over, folks. 9,000 gold lead for Mobility Gaming. Everybody on Vexx Gaming is down, and this Minotaur is going to get burned down so quickly. Very, very good game by Mobility Gaming here. Snoopy, are you going to go down here? Are you going to go down with final seconds going down? Yes, he is going to go down. And this Minotaur taking a beating. Holy cow. Now we have... Yeah, we saw Sobek go down there, but Mobility Gaming sticking it out. They knew that they had to take it down. 11 seconds left on the respawn timer for Neith, but just not enough. That was quite good. Quite good. That was a very, very methodical game by Mobility Gaming. And I want to take a couple minutes here to go through the items, because this is really... excuse me, this is that part where I was really confused, and I'm continuing to be very confused about this Thor. So you look at Thor's gold, his farm gold, and he is now 3rd on his team. He was 2nd earlier when I was talking about him, but you look and he's four items in, next to Odin, who's their tank, at 9,900 farm gold, and he has only 1 level higher. So that tells me something happened that caused that. And I mean, maybe it's the boots, but I mean, there's maybe a 1,400 gold difference, and that doesn't make up for that extra 1,000 that he's missing there. So I don't know what happened with that Thor, but something happened in game that caused him to really be behind in his item build out. So really the difference between the items that you're going to see here right now is that last 10 minutes of the game, when Mobility Gaming understood that they needed to choose the fight that was going to turn the game around, and that was exactly what happened. So they finished the game 9,200 gold up. And as far as builds go, just kind of scanning over each of the players' builds, we do see that... yeah, we did see the Hebo now go for this Divine Ruin. We saw this happen a couple times throughout the tournament this weekend. And basically what this does is, this is a direct counter to Hercules. So any enemies hit by the Hebo's abilities have a 25% reduced healing and regeneration for 3 seconds. And that stacks up to 2 stacks. So up to 50% reduced healing and regeneration. So with that mitigate wounds for Hercules, what that means is that he's dependent on his basically staying in and tanking damage on that heal after that mitigate wounds. And this item, if hit by Hebo, he's not able to take 50% of that healing done in that 3 seconds. So that was a good call by that Hebo. I wasn't really paying attention to see if he realized any of that, but with Hercules going 6 and 3, he definitely dominated. We saw a lot of that domination occur late game, but he and his lane really did do well against the Vexx Gaming crew, and it was really the Shibalanki and Sobek lane that had a hard time starting. But we do see that Sobek ended up kind of catching up here. He was still a little bit behind in farm, but nothing that was actually completely uncommon, basically, from what we've seen from other tanks. You know, we look at Guan Yu, who went with more of a tanky, finishing up with more of a hybrid tank build, but he's at 11,000 farm here, and he was 1 and 4. So you see that the similarities are very striking in that respect as far as those tank numbers go. And then Odin, I would say he's a little under farmed here as a result. So, you know, that definitely, I'm sure they felt that late game for sure. And beyond that, I'm not seeing anything too obnoxiously different or out of the ordinary. So we will wrap this up as a very good game by Mobility Gaming. I'd like to congratulate them. I'm excited to provide this very first cast for the Mobility Gaming crew and for the website. If you are not familiar with my YouTube account, please visit me at youtube.com/turbostv. That's turbos with a 0. I'd be very much appreciative. I'll have the link in the video comments below if you've watched this live. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you have not already, please follow me on Twitch. If you are watching this on YouTube, my Twitch TV account is twitch.tv/turbos, turbos with a 0. And thank you very much, and I will see you guys later.